Time interview with Derrick Hayes. Prime time. Biggest names in the game. Prime time. New names to love the same.
Yes, yes, yes. Like I tell y'all each and every time, we live on prime time. Some of you think it's prime time, but it's prime tie. See, the M is small, and because in life, the small things will quietly lead you to the big opportunities. Like I say, I go by the name of the Entertainer. Follow me on all social media platforms at Entertainer and even on Cash App. Today, we're taking you to the Northeast. I got my brother from a different mother. He's from New Jersey.
That's right, brother.
He's a media personality. He's been on all the biggest talk shows that an entrepreneur could be on. And tonight he's on, let me say it again, he's on Prime
time. The biggest talk show, Derrick. The biggest talk show.
Speak life into it, brother. He's also a business builder. He had multi-million-dollar businesses by the age of 35. He lost them, but he got them back. When I first met him, he was a toilet paper entrepreneur. Then it was like it was Halloween because he came with the pumpkin plant. He must have went to the ocean because he found a surge. He didn't want to be last, so he brought you profit first. And then he looked at his watch and he said, we got to make that clock work. And then they said, no. So he said, all right, we're going to fix this next. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Michalowicz. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Derrick. It's so good to be with you again. Like it's literally been almost 12 years now since we.
Yeah, 12. You know, but because we're doing a lot of posting quotes and different things, you know, through Hero and. You know, that's how, you know, Harold way back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, they've been bought out by Cizion. I think it's, because they also bought out Profnet as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely a blessing, man. You know, like I told people on social media today, I do bow tie Monday. And since I knew I was interviewing you today, I said, let me see what I can come up with. So some told me, just cut his pictures out. Then the next vision was, turn them into letters. So I just say it's bow tie.
A badass bow tie.
Yeah. So today is bow tie Michalowicz Monday. So, so we're having fun today.
I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, follow him on his website, Michalowicz.com. Also on social media, you can check him out at Mike Michalowicz. And on the website, he says he makes entrepreneurship made simple. So tonight, through the word simple, we're going to ask you some questions, have some fun, give people some insight.
Let's do it.
And keep it moving.
Let's do it.
All right. The essence for a story. How did you get started in the world of entrepreneurship?
So I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. Never thought, like, you know, you hear these stories, Derrick, of these people like, oh, when I was 12, I ran a newspaper route, or I was selling stuff to my classmates or something. Not me. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur, but after I left college, I couldn't get a job, not a good job, not a job that was a career. I worked at a computer store. It was fine. But one night I went out with another guy I worked there. We went for some drinks. It's kind of a miracle what liquid courage will do, because I threw back a few beers and I'm like, I'm smarter than the owner. I hustle all the time. I do all the work. I'm going to start my own business. And a few more pops in me. I was like, I'm going. And I started my business the next day. I am not suggesting, you know, drink your way into a business by any stretch of imagination. But I'll tell you, it was enough for me to make that commitment. The next morning, I was like, what did I just do? I actually asked my job back. I quit that night and I asked for a job back the next morning. And the boss is like, get out of here, kid. You're on your own. And I'm grateful for it. I have had the privilege now of running, building, selling businesses, operating them now. It's been the joy of a lifetime.
All right, because everybody starts differently. The eyes for individual. Who are people in the business world that you look up to, and who has opened doors for you?
Names that you would never know. There was this guy, Frank, who was my first business coach. Amazing. He guided me to some of the most important principles of business. For example, he's the one who told me, he goes, evaluate your business on two simple things. Ask the stuff that's working, and ask yourself the stuff that's not working, and do more of what's working and do less of what's not. I mean, it's so simple, but that was it. He's the one who told me that not all clients are created equal. Don't treat all customers the same. The best clients need to be treated the best, and the ones that aren't as good get second priority. And those elements move my business forward. At my church, my pastor, Silas, he's from Nairobi, Kenya, and just a man who really embraces humanity. He cares about people. He really taught me the lessons around it. And what I discovered is that there is not one single person in anyone's life that is the defining mentor that has all the knowledge. It's a collective of people. I work with this woman who gives me a perspective on the female mindset of entrepreneurship, something I can't comprehend, but I can listen to and try to understand. So I've been blessed to surround myself with tons of people, not the big famous names, just people who are famously good at what they do.
Okay. The M is for mistake. What things have went wrong for you, and how did you make them right?
Mistakes. Let's see. Countless mistakes. I'll tell you, one of them was written up in Forbes magazine. One night, I was like, one idea I had, it was to run a interview at night. I grow in this business. It was in computer crime investigation. And to give you a sense, my company did part of the Enron investigation. We did what's called defense analysis work. Christy Brinkley's divorce. We did, sadly, some of the biggest murder cases in U.S. history where there was computer forensic evidence. And so we were really growing rapidly. And I decided I need more people. I need go-getters. I need people that will work anytime, anyway, just to get the job done. And so I ran these interviews. I decided I'm going to run interviews at 3 in the morning, 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. And the people who want it bad enough are going to show up. Well, no one showed. Well, actually, take it back. One UPS driver was getting off work and said, I saw your ad. I thought it was crazy enough for me to stop by. Another guy showed up. I'm sure he was 3 sheets to the wind. He was drunk. It was horrible. And what I realized is that mistake was something to learn from, and that great people want great opportunities and not to be put through some kind of dance. Another mistake I made was I actually grew that same business too quickly. I was hiring more for ego than for what the company really needed, and made it too big. I had 30 employees at that time when the company really could only support about 20, and we hit a financial wall. It was my fault. So I had to face my colleagues and let go of 10 people, not because of their fault, but because of mine. Those mistakes have just, they've been learning experiences, but they've been extremely painful. I've affected other people's lives because of my own mistakes. Today, I think I'm more cautious. I'm more planned. I still love to take risks, but I'm not as shoot from the hips as I used to be.
Okay. The P is for products. I mentioned some of your books earlier. Can you elaborate on some of your books that become bestsellers? Because sometimes people, they may walk past you and it's always somebody that you can reach, somebody that may not know who, they may have seen you, but may not know.
It's probably the majority of people listening right now. So I got them positioned over to this shoulder right now. So you can see it there. There's some of the books back there. I got more than that, but those are probably the 4 most popular books I've written. So I'll give you a walkthrough. Profit First is hands down my most popular. And what I realized, Derrick, is so many business owners, you and I, we start our business for financial freedom and other reasons too. We want to do what we want when we want. We want to serve our community. But a big part of it is I don't want to worry about bills. I don't want to ever worry about bills again. And yet almost every single business owner worries about bills. How come if we start a business to not worry about bills, all of us worry about bills? What I discovered is the foundational formula that we use for profit is a lie. Sales minus expenses equals profit is the foundational formula, and it's wrong. I mean, logically it makes sense. You have to have sales, you subtract your expenses, what's left over is profit. But it's wrong in that in our behavior as humans, when something comes last, it means ignore. If you don't like something, you're like, they're last on my list, or they're the bottom, they're bottom feeders. But profit, we call profit the year end or the bottom line. All those terms mean it comes last. For most businesses, we don't consider profit until the end of the year. So in Profit First, I teach the new formula, which is sales minus profit equals expenses. Every time you have sales in your business, take a predetermined percentage of that money as profit, hide it away from your business, and run your business off the remainder. It's that simple. The book goes way into it. And I'm proud to say we're now approaching over 400,000 companies that have successfully implemented Profit First, and it's growing daily and exponentially. Clockwork, I can't point to there. It's Clockwork is my book on business efficiency. The subtitle is Design Your Business to Run Itself. And we started a business for financial freedom, Profit First, but for personal freedom to do what we want when we want. That's what Clockwork is about, where business isn't dependent on us. And we can do what brings us joy, like what I'm doing now.
Right.
I don't want to run my business. I love being a spokesperson. I love sharing, but I don't want to run the business. And I don't anymore. That's what Clockwork is about. And Fix This Next is my most current book right there, the yellow book. And Fix This Next was the realization that honestly, the biggest challenge every entrepreneur faces is knowing what their biggest challenge is. In our business, we're constantly doing everything, but are we doing the right thing? So Fix This Next is a tool, a compass that pinpoints the one thing you should work on next. Those are my 3 most popular books.
Okay. The Elders for Longevity. What have been some keys to success for you to keep going? Like you mentioned, we met over a decade ago, and you're still going strong. What are some keys that have given you longevity?
Life's purpose. Have a purpose in life. So my life's purpose is to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty, right? So there's this perception right here. You start a business, you're going to be wildly successful. You're going to make all the money in the world. And the reality is this. So we believe we're going to be wealthy and have all this time, but the reality is we're working our asses off and we're not making any money. That gap is entrepreneurial poverty. And I believe entrepreneurs should be wildly successful. We're the biggest contributors to our society. For us to navigate this pandemic and this economic insanity that's happening, it's you and me, small business owners, that are going to turn this around. Now, I have a lot of reasons why and experiences why this is so important to me, but my life is around this. I think this is my life's calling, is to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. That brings longevity. And I see in every industry these flash in the pans, these businesses that come, into awareness very quickly, and then they're gone the next day. And sadly, I see it in the author space. I think this space needs tremendous amounts of extraordinary authors to contribute and share. I mean, knowledge is stored in books. But sadly, I see a lot of authors come into space and it's like a flash in the pan. They show up and they're gone. I think the longevity I have, and I'm producing another book now, and I got 5 or 6 more in the works in different stages. Wow. You're right. It's because I have to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to do it in my lifetime. I want to, but I don't think I am. There's 300 million small businesses globally. I've only scratched the surface, 400,000 or so affected. That's not even that's barely 1% or not even 1%. I got to go so much further. I'm not even 0.5% yet. So I have a lot of work in front of me, and eradicating entrepreneurial poverty drives me.
Is that going to be one of your books with that title?
Maybe.
So you keep saying it,
I know. It's my tagline or phrase for myself, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't become a book.
Something like "Eat in Your Sleep," eradicating entrepreneurial, poverty.
I like that. Maybe it will be EP.
Yeah. You never know. Yeah, the E is for entrepreneur. If the old Mike, right, was speaking to a group of the young Mike, right, when he was on the job and getting ready to quit, what would you say to this audience of young entrepreneurs about, becoming an entrepreneur, and also like what type of business opportunities are out there?
I'm not the one who said this, but this resonates with me that overnight success takes 10 to 20 years. And, young me did not get that. And I wanted to give up. But what I did was I had burned the bridges to going back to a career. There's a certain point, you're an entrepreneur for so long, you're no longer employable. I mean, and could you imagine, like, after 10 years, you go back and say, you look for a job, and they say, what are you doing the last 10 years? Like, well, I struggled to start my own business. Like, they're like, well, stay away. So realize that this is going to be a long journey. Realize that success happens in short periods. They call it the hockey stick. You're pushing, and finally the things click in the right time, in the right place. And that's when you get the growth. but that runway isn't a couple days or a couple months or a couple years. It can be 10 or 15 years, and then you hit it. We got to stick with it. But I'll tell you, regardless of your success, if you're leaning into your calling, if you're doing what you love to do, your dream, it becomes a journey anyway. It becomes joyful anyway. So just pursue your passion. The money in those aspects, they'll come at the right time in the right way, but we got to stick with it.
Appreciate this interview with you. Before we go, is there anything we missed out on or that you'd like to add?
Just, yeah, obligation. So everyone listening in right now, first of all, thanks for being here. Secondly, you have an obligation. I hope you're wearing glasses that make that three-dimensional. The world is needing your success right now. We're in a pandemic, a global pandemic, which is causing economic strife, which simply means the economy is changing forever. And who will fix this is small business. And it's every single time. It's always small business that comes out of a recession and turns things around. The big names of today were the small businesses of yesterday in the recessions. So Google and Microsoft and Apple and Spanx and Airbnb, et cetera, et cetera. These businesses came out of economic strife and they defined a new type of business and brought it to light. Out of this recession that we're going through and this big economic shift, there will be businesses that 4 or 5 years from today are the big names. And right now they're the small names. And my question is simply this: why not you? Why not you choose yourself? Why not you be the one who's the next big business as you define it? And big doesn't mean you have to be huge. It just means that your dream, your definition of success becomes a reality. Why not choose you? Today's the day.
Hey, today's the day. It's a blessing. Like I say, live right here on Prime Time, where we say the smaller things will quietly lead you to the bigger opportunities. Today we had the multifaceted Michalowicz on the air with us. Follow him on his website, www.michalowicz.com. He's all over the place on social media at Michalowicz. And he mentioned about his book. He has a business system, Profit First, Clockwork. I met him over a decade ago. He was the toilet paper entrepreneur.
Yeah.
He gave us a simple process. He told us his story. He talked about the local individuals in his life, from his church, from the neighborhood, that helped him. He talked about his mistakes, mistakes that he had to own up to that even caused effect into the lives of other people. He talked about the marvelous products that he's brought to the world. He talked about how to keep longevity into your life and the things that he would talk to the young entrepreneurs. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I tell each and every person, follow me on all social media platforms at Entertainer, on all social media platforms and even on Cash App. And like I tell you each and every time, watch what you do, think about what you say, because the things you say and do may be the only school that others ever see. And until next time, I thank you for your time. And just like Zay Sanford brought us in, Zay Sanford is going to take us out. Because like Mike even said, the big names, even the small names, the love is still the same. Exactly. Why not you? Why not you?
Prime time, you will be amazed. Prime time, interview with Derrick Hayes.